them hands is gonna be packing, so don't even bother wasting them on a prayer hand. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Share. Hello if you're new. So today's video is going to be a review / kiki / psychological analysis of Love Island 2023 episodes 1 to 5. I hope everybody is doing as well as can be, and I really do hope everybody is being as practical as possible in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And if you're still on the lookout for some resources, I've linked some in the description. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts on my commentary. I'm always up for a chat, I'm always up for a debate, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a dislike, no hard feelings. And if you really like this video, consider subscribing and helping your gear out. So Love Island is back, specifically Winter Love Island. This is the second annual Winter Love Island. The last one ended in a bit of a shambles for various reasons. The PR for that season was very bad, but they're trialing it again, and you know what, I'm here for it. Some people feel like 2 Love Islands a year is too much, but for me personally, I'm here for drama 365 days a year. Love Island by far is my favorite trash TV program. So for me personally, the more the better. I feel like the last summer season was definitely Love Island in its comeback era. When it was looking like Love Island was going to be no more, I wasn't ready to let go of my favourite trash TV show. But I feel like the last summer season definitely saved Love Island's brand in the UK anyway. I really enjoyed last season. So me personally, I was here for them bringing a Winter Love Island. I saw like an article basically saying that they had so many good applicants for the summer season that they decided to now make this Winter Love Island so that they can bring these like big personalities for Winter Love Island. So then I was like, kind of like, okay, let's see it. And you know what? So far, I think this season could be another very entertaining season. It started off slow, but the last couple episodes, because at first I was trying to watch it in the background, but the drama was dramaing. I had to go back to my screen hand. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So first off, we have a new host, Maya. We're finally rid of Laura Whitmore. I did not like her as a host. I just feel like this show wasn't for her, and she just kept trying to justify her role every season, like trying to defend herself, like trying to say that she wasn't a Nepo hire. She clearly was. And she just didn't have the pizzazz, she didn't have the chemistry, she didn't have the charisma. It just was not the show for her. So she's now been replaced with Maya Jama, who I personally feel like should have been the replacement in the first place. Like, and for me, Maya Jama is the perfect host for this show. Obviously, some people are a bit impressed that she got hired because, you know, some of them old tweets resurfaced and they were not looking too good, honey. But if I'm just looking at the job, I feel like she was a good match for the job. I feel like she's doing an excellent job with the hosting. Like, literally immediately, I was like, this is just 10 times better. Like, why didn't you just hire her in the beginning? Like, I personally feel like she's better than Laura, and I personally feel like she was better than Caroline Flack as well. She's a better host than what Caroline was as well, because Caroline, even as a host, she was better than Laura Whitmore, but I still have problems with Caroline as a host, and I was low-key hoping they were going to replace her. Gotta say. I'd be interested to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of Maya Jama as the new host? Are you here for it? Are you not? Let me know. They've switched things up this year in terms of social media. The contestants are banned from posting on social media until the end of the show because of safeguarding, trolling and such. And I just feel like that's just bullshit, because trolls will find a way, unfortunately. That's just the way of the internet. You know, the internet providers need to come together and make some legislations for these trolls and abuse online. They need to handle that. But I just kind of feel like I would be pissed, because you are fucking stopping my bag. A lot of people are here for it, saying, well, this show is about love, so why does it matter anyway if their social media accounts are closed? Bullshit. We all know that this show is not about love. Like, come on now. Like, we're coming to be entertained. Yes, love is nice if we see it, but we're coming to be entertained. So why should the Islanders now be punished? Why shouldn't the Islanders now be able to monetize that? I personally don't agree with that rule. I feel like it should be lifted next season, because in my opinion, it's not going to solve anything. As soon as the accounts go live, the trolls are going to be rushing to their accounts anyway. So for me, it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion. So moving on, my first impressions of the OG Islanders. So first up, we have Shaq. We have our token black man. I feel like he definitely looks better in person than he does in his photos. He's a security guard. He was talking about he's, serious about finding a serious relationship. He's looking for his future wife. And then literally in the next sentence, he's talking about cheating. He's talking about don't let your girlfriend stop you from finding a wife. So I already know he's trash. At that point, I knew he was trash, but I was hoping that he was going to bring some drama. Then we have Harris. He's really young. He's like 21. He's allegedly a TV salesman. And I say allegedly because where they do that at, they don't even have like dedicated TV shops anymore. So I'm really just like, did you just make that up? Like, what's your real job, Harris? Are you a drug dealer? It's giving you a drug dealer. I feel like looks-wise, I feel like he is actually a handsome boy, but he's really ruined it for himself with the grooming. The haircut is higgity-haggity. The haircut is not the best. I feel like his barber definitely has beef with him, especially if he told his barber what show he was going on, and that's the haircut that the barber gave him. I'm even suspecting maybe he might have done it himself to save some money. And then also the eyebrow grooming is just not great. I feel like if he, invested in a better barber, a better eyebrow person, maybe grew out a beard, it would elevate his look so much. But regardless of how handsome he could transform himself to be, the personality is absolute trash. He's just one of those neurotic men who have just unrealistic standards of beauty for women. Like, he seems like somebody who wants a prepubescent looking woman. Like, they have to be hairless, they have to be petite, everything has to be manicured, you have to look good at all times. And the strangest thing that he said is that he can't date somebody who has a feet size bigger than a size 5. So yeah, he's one of those people. So for me, I felt like he probably could bring entertainment, but I was also kind of low-key hoping that he was going to get humbled on this show because he's just so ridiculous. And then we have Will. He's a farmer. He's actually got quite a big following on TikTok. He's got like 1 million followers. And, I went actually to his TikTok to see his videos because I had never heard of him before. And yeah, his videos seemed very wholesome. But immediately I was kind of thinking it's giving on the bench. I wasn't sure how he was going to fare on this show because he doesn't really look like the typical type of man that goes on Love Island and has, all the girls on him. Very typically they put, someone in there that's going to struggle. And I was thinking it's probably going to be Will. I feel like, in his little farming town, he probably does it for the other farming girls, but on Love Island, I kind of felt like he was going to struggle and he was going to be, the nice guy of the season. Then we have Ron. In my opinion, he's the best looking out of the boys. He's got this kind of 90s Channing Tatum thing going on with the haircut. To improve the diversity of the season, like Love Island is now kind of casting disabled contestants. So far there's been 3, but interestingly, in this whole diversity thing, all of the disabled people have been white. But then again, it's Love Island, so are we really surprised? No. And his disability is that he's partially sighted. He's blind in one eye. I do think it's quite interesting that they're inviting these, cast members in the name of inclusivity. They're still very much not shifting the bar that much. I feel like every single one of the disabled cast members that they have brought onto the show have had a disability that is easily masked. Like, bring someone in that's like an amputee. I feel like they're still playing it safe in terms of inclusivity. But anyway, run over back to Ron. He's from Essex. I'm not gonna lie, at this point, when I first saw Ron, I was kind of like, he feels like fake charming, fake charismatic. He feels like he puts on a personality. At first, I didn't really warm to him. I kind of just felt like he wasn't genuine. Maybe it was the Essex accent. I don't know. And also, when he was talking about he's a diamond in the rough, I just felt that was really cringe. I've never heard a man say that, I'm a diamond in the rough. I just thought it was a bit funny. He also says that he's got no type, and immediately I was kind of like, bullshit. Every time someone comes on the show and says they've got no type, like, I can never believe it because they always show us that they do have a type. Then we have Kai. He's a teacher. He's tall. He's our token mixed race guy. We've been missing them for like a season and I've been missing them. So I'm glad to have our token mixed race boy back. He was kind of giving me goofy vibes, but there was also a part of me that kind of felt like he was giving off like seedy teacher vibes. Like, he was very much sexualizing his job as a teacher, which kind of, felt a bit weird to me. I kind of felt like he was potentially going to cause some drama. He literally looks like Adam Collard. And I felt like, you know, the girls are going to like that. They're going to like his height. So I've kind of felt like he definitely had potential to cause some drama as well. Out of the girls, first off, we have Tanya, our token black woman. She's Zim, so you don't have to support, you don't have to do up African Union. But she's cute, she's gorgeous, she's really lovable, she's bubbly, she's full of personality. And for me, I was just hoping that, you know, she was just not going to be hit with disrespect this season. That's all I can hope for my black women going on this show, because we know the show's history. So I was just like, fingers crossed, girl, you ain't disrespected out here, honey. But, you know, last season, you know, we saw, you know, improvements. So I was optimistic about, you know, Tanya's journey on this show. Then we have Anna May, another gorgeous girl. She seems very bubbly. She was kind of giving me Shanice vibes. I kind of got the vibe from her that she could be a bit gullible. So I'm kind of predicting that maybe somewhere down the line, she might end up getting played by someone. Then we have Lana. She's our, you know, only blonde from the, you know, original lineup. And she's absolutely gorgeous. But I'm not gonna lie, the VT was giving boring. I kind of felt like she was gonna be a background character based on first impressions. Then we have Olivia, another gorgeous girl. She's a bit older, she's in her late 20s, quite fiery. She's definitely giving Mora vibes. She does say in her VT that she likes dating younger men. She's a cougar, and immediately I was thinking, how young, sis? Police. But anyway, she does kind of give me man stealer vibes, and I kind of suspected that she was going to be out here stealing someone's man, and I was kind of counting on her to bring some drama. We have Tanya. First impressions, I really loved her VT. I thought she was funny. She's gorgeous. She's definitely representing for, you know, the filler girls, for the BBL girls. The BBL is BBLing. It's definitely giving, what's the name of your surgeon? She looks ambiguous. I kind of thought that she could be like half white, half Asian. That's what I was kind of thinking. But she is Turkish Cypriot. And immediately I was kind of reminded of Anna. She kind of reminded me of her. So I was immediately thinking she's definitely going to be a fiery one. I'm hoping she's going to cause some drama. And that's all of the OG contestants. I feel like every year they always bring in fine babes to the villa, but the male lineup is always just so dire. So immediately I was kind of thinking the girls are going to look at these boys who are, you know, most of them average looking at best. And, you know, as soon as they bring in somebody else hotter, they're going to jump ship because, you know, the looks aren't doing it. There's no lust there. So I thought that was going to be quite interesting. I kind of felt like I would accept you bringing in the most average looking guys that you can find from the UK if that means that you're going to be dropping, you know, hot bombshells and send the house into disarray every week. But with Love Island, you just never know. Like, especially the casting for the men is very much hit and miss, and more so miss. So I don't know. So at this point I was thinking it's going to be very interesting how these next couple of days plan out. So then we move on to the first couplings. This time they're switching things up, and it's going to be the boys who are stepping forward, and it's the girls that are coming in and get to pick. And I personally prefer it this way. I prefer this power dynamic. I feel like in the traditional way, the boys just had too much power. I felt like it's time for the boys now to feel the sting of rejection. See the boys sweat this time. So I was personally here for this switch up of the lineup, and I personally would like it like this for the next season as well. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Do you like it when it's the boys stepping forward and the girls pick, or do you prefer it the other way round? What do you guys think? So for the first pick, we have Tanya. She comes in, she's looking cute. The hair is on point, the makeup is on point, the outfit is on point. She's coming in, the boys are making noise. They're like, wow. Ooh, you know, Shaq saying that she looks gorgeous. The Will's piping up saying that she's unreal. So I'm already like, okay, the boys are making noise. And, you know, it's looking good for my girl Tanya. So who did I predict was going to step forward for Tanya? I predicted basically wrong because he was like, wow, and stuff like that when she walked in. Potentially Will, because he piped up and said, you know, she looks unreal. And then Shaq, because, you know, on Love Island, there is a customary black couple. There's only 2 of you this season. So it kind of makes sense that Shaq most likely will step forward. So then they asked the boys to step forward. And there's this, it feels like a very long pause before they cut to a break. And I was just thinking, absolutely not, Hon. Absolutely not. Because I could have sworn the boys were hyping up, talking about she looks gorgeous, she looks unreal. So one of y'all better have stepped forward. So then the break comes back, and then we see who stepped forward. And one person stepped forward. And who was that? We all knew who was going to be Shaq. Shaq steps forward. Shaq stays on code. You know, he says, you know, he can feel the heat from Black Twitter on his neck. He said, let me just step forward. Let me just save myself a flogging and step forward. Love Island is very much, when it comes to the black contestants, we're going to give you one black person, and if you guys don't get together, that's your own business. We tried. It's very much limited choices when it comes to the black contestants. So if you see another black person on the show, you might as well just step forward and do it for the show, do up PR, and then go your separate ways if you're not feeling each other like that. And we all know it. We all know it. Yes, they should be able to pick whoever they want. Yes, yes. But we know what this show is. And Shaq was very smart to step forward. Obviously, Tanya picks him. And there you go, our annual Black Love couple. But what I will say is that I find it very interesting that Will was like, oh, she looks so unreal. But she wasn't unreal looking enough for you to step forward, Will. Interesting. And interesting to all the other guys that were like, oh, looks only go so far, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. So then Anime comes in. She's looking very gorgeous. She's looking very striking in her red bikini paired with a red lip. And immediately I'm thinking, okay, this is when the white boys and Kai step forward. And what do you know? Who stepped forward? Harris, Ron, and Kai. And I kind of felt like she would pick between Ron and Kai, and she ends up picking Kai. That's not a surprise for me. Kai, he's really tall. He looks like Alan Collard. So I've kind of felt like that would probably appeal to Anime. So Ben Lana steps in. Again, absolutely gorgeous. She's got the blue bikini on. She's looking like Cinderella. And again, I suspected the white boys were going to step forward. Ron, Will, and Harris. I kind of felt like Will was definitely going to step forward for this round because Lana has more of a natural look. Will being a farmer, I can imagine he probably wants a more natural looking girl. So I knew Will was going to step forward. And yes, Will did step forward along with Ron and Harris. So now Ron has stepped forward twice now for the white girls. Mr. I ain't got no type. Clearly you have a type, Mr. Ron. Because he was talking about personality. I like a girl with personality, but Tanya had a lot of personality when she came in. Lana was very stiff and boring when she came in. So clearly you do have a type, and clearly you are a looks man, Ron. Like, just be honest about it. You know what I mean? Because we'll all figure it out soon enough. Out of all of the boys that stepped forward, Will, Harris, and Ron, I had a feeling she was going to pick Ron because he's the best looking out of the bunch. And she did end up picking Ron. Then Olivia comes in, again, absolutely gorgeous. All the girls did not come to play. All the girls did not come to play with the makeup and the hair, honey. All oiled up and everything. And I thought that Harris was going to step forward. He did step forward, but so did Will. And I was just kind of thinking, Will, why are you stepping forward? And then I kind of remembered that we're getting to the end of the lineup. You know, the options are dwindling. Will kind of realises now that he can't really be picky. So now I felt like at this point, Will was just stepping forward for anyone. So in terms of who I thought Olivia was going to pick, I thought out of the two, Harris and Will, she was going to pick Harris. But she throws a curveball and decides to steal Kai from Anime. And like I said, I predicted it. I predicted that she was going to be a man stealer out here. And what does she do? She steals Kai. Obviously, again, Kai, he looks like Alan Collard. He's very tall, so I can understand why Olivia wanted to pick him. But in her VT, she did say that she was a bit of a cougar. So I kind of felt like she was going to pick Harris. But maybe she just said that because she knew, you know, saying stuff like that would get her on the show. But really and truly, she does like, you know, at least a mature looking man. So yeah, so I was here for it. I was like, you know what? Yes, everybody's here being cutesy, being nice. Yes. Let's start stealing people. Yes. Let's cause some drama. Let's let people already know that you're a snake from the get-go. Yes. So then Tanya comes in. Obviously, the BBL was BBLing. The hair is on point. The makeup's on point. Everybody is like, yeah, I want some of that. Everybody can see the body of the Tanya is the last person. So I feel like by default, Harris was going to step forward. Will was going to step forward. In terms of the people who were already coupled up, that might step forward. I didn't think anyone would, but I did have a little suspicion about Shaq because the way that he was looking at Tanya, it was given the eyes of lust. So I kind of suspected if someone in a couple was going to step forward, it might be Shaq. But then I was kind of thinking he knows that he will cook if he even tries that. So out of the two, Harris and Will, I kind of felt like she was probably going to end up with Harris or something. But Kai surprises me and steps forward. He says he likes to look at Tanya. He said he's seen that body yada yada. He wants some of that body yada yada. He ain't really feeling Olivia like that. Which shocked me. I was like, okay. And Tanya said, I accept. And she got with Kai. And Olivia is just looking there embarrassed because, you made that play. You came out here big and bold. You came out here with the main character energy and was like, yeah, bitch, this is my show. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take what I want. And the man don't even want you. Embarrassing. That's why if I was ever on Love Island, yeah, I would be playing it definitely safe at the beginning because for me, personally, like, we wouldn't want to be dealing with embarrassment like that, honey. She was fuming. Oh, she was like, bitch, you're ruining my storyline. That then leaves Olivia and Anime on the bench and they have to pick which person that they want. Anime goes first. She picks Harris. I knew she was going to pick Harris because, by rule of attraction, Harris is better looking than Will, so she picked Harris. And then Olivia was stuck with Will, and I could tell that she was so pissed. Like, she imagined her storyline with Kai, and now she's stuck with Will. She was pissed. But I also did feel sorry for Will as well. Will was trying so hard. Like, he was trying to make conversations during the couplings, and people just kept palming him off. So I already knew Will is just going to be struggling throughout his whole time. So the recoupling is over. Maya makes some announcements. She confirms that the prize is still 50k for the winning couple. And I still feel like it's just so stingy. Like, why ITV is the prize still 50k for Love Island? I kind of felt like by now it should even be like 200k, like cost of living is going up. I know you're drowning in sponsorship money. Why are you being stingy with the prize fund? I kind of felt like if they up the prize fund, surely there would be more incentive for people to move mad, because 50k, yeah, it's a lot of money, but 100k, now that is a lot of money. Split 50k each, 25k each. What's that? That's a year's salary. You don't have to work for a year. But 50k, that is something you cannot work for a year and then also have investments as well. So I kind of feel like they should up the prize purely for incentive. And also, I feel like the people on this show have earned it. They're on our screens, 6 days a week entertaining us. Give them a bigger prize fund. I kind of feel like the only way this is justified is if they're getting a cut of the sponsorship money, because they're always getting, the Islanders to, be a part of their sponsorships. If they're getting a cut of the sponsorship money, okay, cool. But even still, like RuPaul's Drag Race, they get sponsorships and they've upped their prize fund, and there's other ways to win cash prizes as well on the show as well. So I kind of just feel like ITV, you're being a bit stingy, because I know you're charging a premium for that ad space. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Do you feel like the prize fund should be more? Do you feel like it doesn't matter because the show is meant to be about love? So therefore, they don't need to be upping the prize fund? Let me know what you guys think. So after the recoupling, the couples start to get to know each other. Ron and Lana say they like each other, so they want to kind of give it a go. But for me, they lack chemistry. And together, on the first day, at the very least, they were boring. And I was kind of just like, they're going to be that boring couple that I just want off of my screen every time I see them. For me, it was kind of giving the vibes that they were trying to be like the day one couple. And they were kind of cementing that plan together. Immediately, I felt like Tanya and Shaq had a genuine connection, had genuine chemistry. Tanya said she's not playing. She's here looking for a man. She's looking for a boyfriend. And when she's saying, she's looking for a boyfriend, Shaq is jokingly coughing every time she says, anything regarding commitment, he starts coughing. And immediately that was a red flag to me. it's giving you a rubbish. And I really don't like it with men when you're trying to say something serious and they're trying to make a joke out of it. For me, that's very red flag behavior. Also, immediately I can tell that Anna May is not feeling Harris. She wants out of this relationship. Very much giving, I was forced to pick you and I really can't be asked to even try and make an effort with you. And you know what, girl? Considering, all that Harris is, I can't blame you, girl. Olivia very much is in the same boat. She's not attracted to Will, and I feel like every time he speaks, the it gets larger. She was ready to get out of there, and from the very beginning, she was plotting to snatch Harris off Anna May. And she was just so serious about it that she just couldn't wait. She just immediately goes to Anna May and tells her, like, I'm not really feeling Will, I'm feeling Harris. I just want to let you know that I'm interested in Harris. And, I guess she was coming at this angle of, I'm a girl's girl, so I want to give you a heads up. But at the same time, I feel like she was still being very aggressive about it. Like, you could see the desperation in her eyes. I feel like because, day one, you can get away with moving mad. Like, nobody has literally any loyalties to anyone. So it really is fair game. Better off doing that at the beginning, where there's going to be little pushback. You know what? I personally was here for it. I was here for Olivia's aggression because you know what? Yeah, I get it. She's in her late 20s. She didn't come on this show to play around, hun. She's here to secure the sponsorship. She's here to secure her storyline. So for me, yeah, it was a little bit desperate, but personally, I was here to see it. Even though Olivia was being very open and honest, I do feel like she's a snake in plain sight. So immediately I knew, Olivia is definitely going to be one to watch out for when it comes to shady business. I felt like that whole conversation with Anna was very much foreshadowing. We also see Olivia and Anna having a little bitch about Kai. Obviously, they both were kind of rejected by him. They're basically saying that they think he's a player and how Tanya'S probably going to get played by him. And yeah, they don't care about him anymore. They're not interested in him. And I was thinking, yeah. But if he was to now double back and show interest, I'm sure you would buy. Also, in a boys' chat, my suspicions about Shaq were confirmed. I felt like he kind of did want to step forward for Tanya when she came in because he does express to the boys that he's attracted to her. So I knew it, Shaq. The eyes gave it away. And a moment in the episode that I love to see was basically Harris opening up to Olivia about how he's never experienced rejection like this before. And how he's really surprised about it. Like, you could tell he's just like, well, damn, bitch, like, everybody's on me where I'm from, but here, people are, treating me like I'm just any guy. Like, yeah, bitch, because you are, yeah, sit in that. More humbling for Harris, please. Then Maya comes back in and she reveals that there's going to be a bombshell coming in. There was a public vote for a bombshell. It was between someone called Tom and someone called Ellie. I voted for Tom because personally I kind of felt like with, the looks in the OG boys lineup, it would be better to place Tom in there for maximum chaos. No disrespect to the girl Ellie, but her looks, personally, it wasn't giving competing with the OG girls because the OG girls are very much gorgeous. No disrespect to the girl, but she's not as attractive as the OG girls. So I kind of felt like putting her in would be a waste. Whereas Tom, the OG boys, most of them are average looking at best. Tom pretty much can scrape just above average. So we put him in. He's also very tall. That just adds more attraction to him. That's going to cause some chaos. That's going to cause a little bit of disarray. So I said, let's pick Tom. And what do you know? The public agreed and Tom gets to come in. And the stipulation of him coming in is that the next day he needs to pick a girl to steal. We all know what the MO is. That's going to leave one of the boys vulnerable. But anyway, Tom is received very well by the girls. All the girls are cheesing. The boys are looking very uncomfortable because they're just seeing this really tall man come in. And they're like, shit, the girls are looking. We definitely need to secure our relationship. So obviously, as I was saying, Tom is well received by the girls. He goes off with the girls to talk with them. And immediately Harris is piping up. Oh, he's taking our girls. And I was thinking, he's taking your who? He's taking your who? You've been here 24 hours and nobody has even claimed you, Harris. Very wild. And then he's saying, oh, he should have spoken to us boys first before talking to the girls. Like, that's disrespectful. And it's that same debate every season. Like, everybody has this debate that, oh, who should you speak to first? Like, if you have feelings for someone, should you go to that person first? Or should you go to their partner first and tell them and then go back to their partner? And I always just think it's very silly. I just kind of felt like if you guys are all here single, then nobody needs to confirm anything with anyone. And even Ron was saying like, yeah, like if I was coming in here and it's day 2, I'm talking to the girls first. Like, sorry, I didn't come in here for you guys. I came in for the girls. Period. Because everyone is up for grabs at this point. So it makes sense to talk to the girls first. Why would I want to care about what you and your dodgy haircut and your dodgy eyebrows are saying? Tom comes in, he's really tall, and all the girls are immediately like, oh my God, you're so tall. Like, I've never met anyone as tall as you. Like, oh, he's so tall. The height thing seems to be really doing it for them, because I do feel like Tom is all right looking, but I definitely feel like the height does add that attraction. And I feel like that's this thing with women, like, oh, like we like tall men. So yeah, I gotta hear from you ladies. What is your MO? Can you only date tall? Are you privy to average height / short men? Let me know what you guys think. I think for me personally, I'm very petite, so it's not very hard for me to find someone taller than me. But I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer tall. I kind of just feel like even if I'm wearing heels, considering my height, I should not be able to see the top of your head, honey. Because I've had experiences where people be lying about their height, but I can see the top of your head and I'm 5'2". But what I will say is that I do feel like tall men rely on their height too much, whereas with average or shorter men, they, you know, push forward their resources. They'll try and impress you with their resources, while with tall men, they'll be like, well, I'm tall. And that's all they're offering. There is nothing more annoying than a tall man who just feels like the height is just enough. You are not worth the neck pain. The girls also ask him what his type is. To the girls, he's saying he's got no type, but to the boys, he's saying his type is blonde. So immediately, I already know he's going for the white babes. Like, obviously, Lana's the only blonde girl, but, you know, there's brunettes in here as well. So I kind of just felt like he's going for one of the white babes. And this is why I don't be trusting people when they say that they ain't got a type. Unless I truly have seen history of you. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely people out there that really just be, you know, dating the rainbow, honey. But most of the time when people say they ain't got no type, they have a type. Then we have this dare game situation. And the juiciest highlights from that section were when Tanya has the opportunity to snog someone that isn't her partner, she chooses Kai. I personally suspected it was going to be Kai. I definitely feel like maybe Kai would be her runner-up, potentially maybe even her first option. So I thought that was quite interesting. But at that point, I was kind of thinking, like, in your dreams, girl, it's not going to happen. Lana chooses to lap dance on somebody she fancies the most. But she doesn't pick Ron. She picks Shaq, which I thought, again, was quite interesting. Ron was looking like, what the hell, bitch? Like, really, bitch? Because in that whole dare situation, he chose to kiss someone, he chose to kiss Lana, and now Lana's lap dancing on someone else that she says that she fancies the most. So, a bit of disrespect there to Ron, and I was just kind of like, okay, interesting. Shaq is who you fancy the most. Interesting, Lana. Will picks Olivia for foot massage and ends up licking her feet, and Olivia just looked absolutely mortified and terrified. Like, poor Will, like, he's really trying his hardest, but he's just very much repelling away from these girls. Kai chooses Tanya'S and Anna May for a 3-way kiss. So immediately at that point, it was giving foreshadowing of a love triangle. And Tom also gets to choose to kiss 3 people who he finds the fittest, and he chose Anna May, Olivia, and Tanya. And he chose to kiss Lana, Tanya'S, and Olivia. So after the challenge, obviously, you know, people have now kissed other people. Shaq is now trying to take that opportunity to try and get a kiss off Tanya. But Tanya is basically like, no, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to work for it. And I was, at that point, I was thinking, yeah, bitch, yeah. Make him work for it. Make him work for his meal. Period. And you could tell Shaq was just so disappointed. And for me, again, it was just giving red flag, like, why are you, I get you want to kiss her, but the way that he was just behaving was just so thirsty. Like, it was just like, ooh, give us some personal spice. Also, after the challenge, Lana and Ron, they're no longer talking about, oh, we're going to be day ones, we're going to make it work. Now they're both talking about entertaining other people. Obviously, Lana, she picked Shaq for the lap dance. And obviously, I guess Ron was probably feeling a bit hurt because, you know, he picked Lana to kiss during the dare challenge. And she's gone and done a lap dance on somebody else. So he's probably like, you know what? If she wants to entertain other people, so will I. So I definitely feel like Ron now switching it up was definitely a kind of ego thing. Like his ego was kind of bruised in the dare challenge when Lana did a lap dance on Shaq, I suspect. But personally, I'm here for it. It's unrealistic to be putting your eggs in one basket just for the sake of appearances. And you know what? At first, I thought Lana was going to be boring. But, you know, at this point, I was thinking, okay, Lana, I see you, bitch. You kind of like a bit of chaos. And I'm here for it. So the day after, Tom is going on his little tour, getting to know all of the girls, it seems. You know, Lana is entertaining it. She's saying she wants to make Ron sweat. And I suspected that's probably why she chose to lap dance on Shaq in the Dare Challenge. You know, she likes a bit of drama in her relationships. Maybe she's a bit, you know, one for toxic relationships. And she's also talking about she's got no loyalties. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here for the women moving mad, because usually the women are not trying to settle down day one. Like, no, let's explore. Let's stay around. Yes, I'm here for it. Olivia is also loving the attention from Tom. I feel like she's definitely being a lot more aggressive than the other girls. She's touching him up when they're speaking, like, you know, touching his muscles and stuff. Like, I saw that, bitch. I saw you, bitch. Olivia could never be a mysterious girl because she's just so obvious about things. We also see Tom entertaining Tanya. Tanya seems to be loving the attention. I feel like Tanya is definitely in her own little world where she feels like everybody fancies her. I definitely felt like when Tom was entertaining her, I feel like she generally thought that she had a chance of being picked. Even though I feel like it was obvious it was not the case. I feel like it was very obvious it was going to be between Lana and Olivia. But interestingly, side note, we see in a conversation with Kai and Tanya, Kai is basically saying that he doesn't think that Tanya and Tom would work out because he's the only one out of all the boys who can handle her attitude. Like, basically, like, I feel like I was very backhanded. Like, basically saying, like, she's got a bad attitude and no one's going to deal with it but me. Like, it felt very backhanded. And I kind of felt like this relationship is giving that it's going to go down in flames. I feel like the resentment is already building. Like, what type of comment is that? Also, Harris continues with his possessive behavior. When Tom goes and grabs Anna for a chat, he's like, oh, you can't have her for too long. You can only have her for 30 seconds. I feel like he was trying to do it in a jokey way, but I feel like he was low-key serious. And for me, it was just like so weird because literally earlier in that episode, he was low-key entertaining Olivia. Like, you can tell that he is not remotely interested in Anna. But now because Tom is showing interest in her, now suddenly she's yours and he can't have her. It was very weird. Very weird. And it was very delusional for me because Anna is literally not claiming you. She's already plotting her escape. It's giving very much desperate, giving very much, I don't want to be the first one to go. Then we have this dirty laundry challenge. And honestly, the dirty laundry was not that juicy. It was kind of like the typical stuff, like the typical debauchery. But I would say that one thing that I felt like was very illuminating for me was Shaq's dirty laundry that revealed that instead of breaking up with a girl, he lied and said that he went to the army as a way of breaking up with them. So for me, it's just like all these red flags, like, you know, he's continuously telling us that he's trash. And then another highlight is that basically everyone got a proper kiss in that challenge because obviously the challenge was you had to guess somebody's dirty laundry. And if you suspected it was them, you have to kiss them. Everybody got a proper kiss except for Will. Everybody was giving Will that peck. And it was just sad. I felt sad for Will. Then the evening of Tom snatching comes. Interestingly, it seems that, you know, Olivia and Harris are vibing a bit more. We can see some chemistry with them. And I could actually see them as, you know, a couple, you know. Cradle snatching aside, Ron just looks stressed the entire evening. Like he has this hunch that Lana's going to be picked. And I definitely feel like, yeah, he should have been stressed out because I felt like Lana was definitely in Tom's top two. And eventually it is Tom's time to pick. And eventually Tom's time does come. I kind of suspected it was going to be between Lana and Olivia. And when he was saying his speech before picking the girl, I kind of knew it was going to be Olivia. He was saying stuff about, you know, he wants a girl to keep him on his toes. I was thinking instantly, that's definitely Olivia. I don't think Lana's going to be doing that. I was thinking that's definitely Olivia. And who did he end up picking? Olivia, and Olivia's smirking. She's very pleased with herself. I bet she was thinking, this is going to do wonders for my story. Like, Tom's just picked me, Harris is showing interest in me, I'm going to have men fighting over me. I definitely feel like she was very impressed with where her efforts have got her. Then we get a text confirming that there's going to be a recoupling and whatever boy is not picked is going home. And then we get a preview of the next two bombshells. We've got Zara, she's mixed race, she's looking very bronzed up. The booty is bootying. She's got blonde curly hair. Tall. I was thinking she could definitely cause a ruckus. And then we have David. We've got another black guy. And immediately I was thinking Tanya. This is could be someone for Tanya to save her from Shaq. Because for me at this point, something just didn't sit right with me with Shaq. Like, he's just a big red flag. So I was hoping David was going to come in and snatch Tanya so she could be free. But I wasn't entirely sure because, you know, in terms of attractiveness, in my opinion, Shaq is more attractive than David. I definitely feel like if they were going to bring in a black man, there's definitely finer black men that they could have brought. No disrespect to David, but noticeably, Ellie is missing. She's now been put on the back bench. If I was Ellie, I would be fucking pissed. Who knows when she's coming in? They might put her in for Casa Amor. So, after that text comes out, Will is looking defeated. He looks like he wants to cry because he knows that, you know, he most likely, right now at that point, is going to be the first one out. He's gone, you know, he's left the farm, he's left his sheep, and he's going to be the first one out. You know he's pissed. You know none of the girls are attracted to her. And now he might be going out before he has the chance to meet someone who is. I would be fucking pissed. I would just be sucking ass like for the whole week, like hoping somebody helps, hoping somebody saves me on a friendship level. I'd be looking out for people, seeing who's, you know, in a love triangle, trying to do the appeal for friendship with the person who looks like they're going to lose the love triangle. Obviously, Will is desperate out here and he's basically telling the boys, like, you know, I'm going to be getting my graft on, so I am going to be grafting your girls. Like, I hope you know, I'm just letting you guys know because obviously I've got to graft out here. And all the boys were basically looking at him like, you know, go ahead, because they know that none of the girls are attracted to him. So Will really isn't competition. And Ron was even like, you can go chat to Lana if you want because I know you're going to lose. Like, the boys don't rate him. You know what? I've got to respect it. You know, Will, you know, he didn't come ditch his farm for nothing. He's going to fight. And you know what? I respect that. And he's very honest. I really don't like it when people are trying to keep it cute and trying to be prideful and be like, you know what? You know, if my time comes, nah, bitch. Your ass better keep me in. Later on, we do see Shaq try and put it on Tanya. Again, Tanya swerves him. And he's just like, oh my God, did you just pie me? And she's basically like, you know, I want us to wait, you know, I want to kiss you, but just not right now. And he's just like, oh, you know, just don't even say anything. Like, you've already bruised my ego. And again, it's just kind of like, she said, like, I'm pretty sure she said the day before she wants to wait. So now you're coming the next day with your lips again in her face. Why? For me, it's just very dodgy. It's very red flaggy. Like, this is somebody who doesn't know boundaries and is going to try and coerce you. That whole interaction, again, was a big red flag. And I really don't like how he kind of tried to make her feel bad about it. Like, you could see Tanya kind of doubling back and trying to, you know, confirm, you know, trying to reaffirm him and be like, oh no, it's not because I'm not attracted to you. It's just that I just don't want to kiss you yet. And it's like, she shouldn't even have to do that. Because it should be, I set a boundary and you respect it, period. So for me, it's just, Shaq is just a big red flag. Unfortunately, our girl Tanya does succumb to the guilt trip. And later in bed, we do see them kissing. And I definitely feel like she felt the pressure. Like, she kind of felt like he is now equating to her refusing to kiss him as she's not attracted to him. Even though she kind of made that very clear that wasn't the case. So she just kind of felt like, let me just kiss him now to please him. And for me, I was like, no, don't fall for the pressure. But she fell for the pressure. And so at that point, I'm just not in support. I'm just going to say that now. I'm not in support of Shaq and Tanya's relationship. In that evening, we also see Harris officially confirm that he's not into anime and he wants to pursue Olivia. So now they both expressed that out loud. It was only inevitable that they were going to speak to each other and basically friend zone each other. And that did eventually happen. And it happened amicably. And then after that, Harris sticks it on Olivia. And you could just tell Olivia is loving the attention. She is loving that two men are vying for her. We also see Will begin his graft tour, but it kind of seems like he's only really focusing on one person, which is Lana. And at first I was thinking, we'll just move on from Lana, find somebody else. I was thinking he should have gone for Anime, because it seems like she's just out here in the wind. And potentially Tanya, because it seems like her and Kai's relationship is unstable. But now, considering what went on, it seems like it was a smart move to zero in on Lana. But I still feel like it would have been smarter to kind of even it out who you were going to appeal for friendship. So then the new bombshells drop. Zara picks Ron for a date and David picks Tanya for a date. You know, Lana was talking about she wants to make Ron sweat. Now it's time for her to sweat. You could tell she was a little bit stressed when that text came through. Also, Shaq, he seemed really surprised that Tanya was getting picked for a date, because obviously, traditionally, when it comes to the black female contestants, they generally only have one option. And if they do have multiple options, they usually have to wait until, you know, Casa Amor or the end of the season to find another option. But they've done it very early, so you could tell that Shaq was surprised, like, bitch, how is Tanya getting picked for a date already? So yeah, I was here for it. I was here for Tanya getting some shine. I was here for, you know, some disarray potentially with Lana and Ron. So then we see the VTs for the new bombshells. Zara, she's very confident. She's very bubbly. She says she's a queen. She says she doesn't mind stepping on people's toes. She's here for a man. She's not here for seasonal girlfriends. Period. I'm thinking, you are going to cause some chaos. You're going to cause some drama. And I'm here for it, Zara. Then we have David. He's from Essex, which for me is a red flag. I feel like Essex men definitely have a type. So for me, you know, it was a bit of a question mark for me that now David from Essex is picking Tanya on a date. And I even looked at his dating history, and that confirmed to me it's a question mark why he's taking Tanya on a date. So by default, I was already like, you know what? I want Tanya to find a new man, but it's looking like for right now, it will be better to stick with Shaq for now. David, he's not really giving me genuine vibes. He also talks like a salesman. So for me, he was given a little bit of a red flag in my opinion. So in terms of how the dates went, I feel like both dates went well. I feel like there was, you know, friendly chemistry in both of the dates. I didn't really see sexual chemistry, but friendly chemistry was definitely there. I feel like they had good conversations. You know, both Zara and David were very confident. But I think out of the two, Zara was definitely the standout. I don't think Ron and Lana have, you know, romantic chemistry personally. I feel like Ron is just probably, you know, sexually attracted to Lana. So in terms of chemistry, I felt like he definitely had better chemistry with Zara, but I still didn't really feel sexual chemistry with him and Zara. So I felt like it was very much a thing of what he was going to go with. Is he truly a personality man, or is he a looks man? Or is he a strategic man? Because in terms of strategy, it would be better to pick Lana. So there's that as well. But in terms of David and Tanya, I definitely felt like Tanya was going to stick with Shaq. After the date, Tanya said that she likes David, but she still very much likes Shaq, which kind of confirms to me that, yes, she's going to stick with Shaq. But I did kind of feel like maybe she might still entertain David, you know. She likes the attention, so she probably will still entertain David, but ultimately she's going to pick Shaq. On the other hand, Ron is telling the boys, my head is turned. He doesn't mention Lana once. He's not like, oh, well, I still like Lana. He's just talking about Zara has spun his head. You know, they've got so much in common. You know, she's got all of these great qualities about her. So I'm just thinking, ooh, maybe your man is going to get snatched, Lana. So I was like, let the games begin. Drama had been bubbling up, but I felt like this is the point where, you know, the drama really started to kickstart, like the race started. So on the newbies' first night, they start grafting. Zara's first stop is with Kai. They've got good chat. They've got good chemistry. I felt like she had the most chemistry with Kai, which I found was interesting. Then her second stop was Ron, obviously the follow-up of the date. Again, they have good friendly chemistry. Her third stop is Will. Bless Will, he's really trying, but we all know he's got no chance. And then her fourth stop was Shaq. They're talking, they're flirting. Shaq was being very, very flirty, very sexually suggestive, which I thought was interesting. He was definitely entertaining Zara, but I felt like he already knew that he wasn't on Zara's radar. And then for her fifth stop, there's Tom. Again, you know, decent chemistry there. I'm not sure if there's sexual chemistry there, but it seems like they both like each other's height. Because obviously she's a tall girl, he's a tall boy. So, you know, after that whole exchange, when they compared each other's heights, I was thinking this relationship could have some potential. Then on David's grafting tour, his first stop is Tanya. He tells her that she's up there in attraction for him. And again, I was thinking, I knew it. I feel like Tanya was probably his first choice for a date, but he chose Tanya to be strategic. And then the second stop on his tour is the follow-up with Tanya. Again, they're flirting. But for me, it just seems like, you know, David flirting with Tanya is not genuine. There is no chemistry. And he's just kind of attaching himself to Tanya because he knows that's his only option. None of the other girls are checking for him. And that's kind of why we don't really see any other clips of him grafting. Like, his screen time pretty much cuts there, and that pretty much foreshadows his length of time on the show. So after all the grafting, at that point, it seemed like Zara's number one was Ron and David's number one was Tanya. So finally, after the dates, Ron and Lana have a little bit of a catch up, and Lana is not playing any games. She's very direct, and she's basically like, so, you know, do you like her? Is your head turned? Do you want to get to know her? And Ron is just kind of like beating around the question. And interestingly, he's not saying the same things that he said with the boys that he said to her. He basically, you know, is framing the situation as he still wants to be with Lana, but he's now been put in this situation where a new person has come in and they've picked him to go on a date, and now, you know, he's gone on a date with her, and now it's just a test because obviously now this new girl is entertaining him and it's just going to be a test for them. And I was just thinking, this isn't, you know, this is giving a bit of a red flag, Ron, because I feel like you're kind of chatting shit a little bit, like trying to dance around the question that Lana said. Because to the boys, you made it very clear that your head was turned, but you're not confirming that with Lana. You're kind of skirting around the question. So for me, that was a bit dodgy from Ron, potentially foreshadowing him being messy in the future. Anna and Harris have friend-zoned each other. So now Anna May is out here to the win, but she's now decided she wants to detain Kai again after basically calling him trash on the first days. That's, you know, miraculously been wiped from her memory that she called him trash and said that she wasn't interested in him anymore. Now suddenly she's interested again. Kai is entertaining her, which catches the attention of Tanya, who doesn't like it and takes it upon herself to tell Kai directly that when he entertains other girls, it makes her jealous. And she's basically like, you know, I've never, you know, told this to people before. And, you know, I'm just not used to, you know, men not chasing after me and me having to chase after them. And yeah, it was just a very weird conversation. Like, you would just never get that information out of me that I'm jealous. When we're in the dating stage, I'm jealous of you dating other people. Like, for me, it's just, that's just what it is. You're dating. We're not attached until you show me some commitment. You know, I'm free to do whatever. You're free to do whatever. I'm not going to come now and tell you, when you haven't even made me your girlfriend, that I get jealous when you entertain other women. So I can now inflate your ego. It inflated his ego, and I feel like it had the opposite effect that she was hoping. Like, he was going to take that and be like, oh, so she really does care about me. Okay, let's be together now. He took that as, okay, I know she's interested in me. I'm still going to entertain Anime anyway, because he's already been building up some resentment with her anyway. He's already basically said that her attitude stinks. It didn't have the impact that she thought it was going to have. And she probably shouldn't have told him in the first place, because it didn't really work in her favour. Because he still decided to entertain Anna after that conversation anyway. So obviously after that backfire, Tanya was like, okay, Bet, you want to entertain other people, so am I. And she basically starts conspiring with Olivia that she's now going to make a move on Ron. And obviously Olivia, fellow man stealer, fellow snake, she's here backing it, and she's like, oh yeah, let's keep it between us. The snakery. So, you know, Tanya goes on her little mission, you know, starts, you know, doing a bit of light entertainment with Ron, and Ron is low-key here for it. He's here entertaining it. Now he's telling Tanya he's not really interested in Zara anymore. So for me, it was just like, you know what? I really don't know for any of these people, like, their mind they keep saying one thing and then saying another thing. Like, I just can't keep up. So then we have a drinking game, and the juicy highlights of the drinking game are both Tanya and Anime choose to kiss Kai, which again reveals that they're still very much in a love triangle. And now everybody knows who's in this love triangle. Zara picks Tom to kiss, and Olivia is visibly pressed. Interestingly, Kai chooses Tanya to kiss when he has to choose to kiss someone who they would bring home to their family. And I don't know, because at first I was thinking Tanya has no chance with Kai, but Kai keeps picking her to kiss, and I'm thinking, I'm just getting mixed messages. Like, do they like each other? Do they not? Because I see them sitting with each other having conversations. Like, do they like each other or do they not? I'm so confused. And then Shaq, out of nowhere, decides to kiss Lana on her chest. The thing that he was told to do is kiss the islander you like the most on their best feature. Something to that effect. So he chose Lana and he chose to kiss her on her chest. And it was just so weird. And I'm thinking maybe he was pressed that Kai chose to kiss Tanya. So now he's kissing Lana in retaliation. Like trying to make it Tanya's fault that Kai kissed her. And for me, I was thinking that's a red flag. Like, what's going on? What's going on? This is a bit weird. Like, are you trying to make her jealous here? Like, this is very weird. Obviously, you know, Lana did give Shaq the lap dance. So I feel like this was very strategic. Obviously, Tanya's like, what the fuck? Everybody's like, what the fuck? Even Lana's like, what the fuck? Another interesting thing is that Olivia chooses to nibble Tom's ear. But when it comes to Tom choosing somebody to lick, he chooses Zara. And again, Olivia, the disrespect. Olivia, the embarrassment. Like, you chose Tom, but Tom didn't choose you. Like, the embarrassment. I would be pressed if I was her as well. Then we have this really dramatic bit where Tanya tries to make a statement by kissing Ron. But when she goes to do it, she pushes Kai out the way and she's like, move out of my way, and then aggressively kisses Ron. And it was just so weird, so cringe, kind of embarrassing. But I was kind of here for the drama. Very much secondhand embarrassment, but it was funny to watch. I think she was trying to make him jealous, but I think ultimately she just put him off. So then it's Tanya'S turn to kiss 3 people she deems are the best kissers. But she does not pick Shaq. I'm guessing this is in retaliation for him kissing Lana. And she kisses Kai, Ron, and Tom. And you could just tell that Shaq is pissed. But what did you expect? What were you doing kissing Lana's chest, please? If you want to come at me with nonsense, I'm going to bring nonsense to you, Han. Because let me tell you, you want to try and make me hot, I'm going to send you to hell, honey. And then Zara has to pick somebody who is the most two-faced in the house. She picks Olivia, and Olivia is pressed. So pressed. She does a comeback and says, you know, when she gets like a task and it's like, you know, tell the group something that they don't know. She's like, basically, you know, something that you guys don't know is that, you know, I'm the realest bitch here. Like, words to that effect. So yeah, she was just really pissed about being called two-faced, but she had to pick someone, hun. And not gonna lie, Zara didn't lie, because you are two-faced, hun. You are definitely the most two-faced in this villa. So, the aftermath of the game, Olivia is still pissed. It's giving Segregation Island again. The POCs, Zara and Tanya, are over there on one side, and the white girls are on the other side. Olivia tells the girls that she's weird, that she feels like Zara was very calculated picking her, was doing it maliciously. Do I think Zara did it calculated? I think the word calculated is, you know, I wouldn't agree with the word calculated, but did I think she thought about it? Yes, but I do think she was, you know, being honest. That she honestly does think Olivia is two-faced. Could there be a degree of calculation in that? Potentially. But was it malicious? I don't think so. I feel like she literally just got here. She doesn't know you like that to be making malicious acts against you. I really don't think it was that deep, Olivia. I just feel like you're very threatened right now. And that's why you're making this a big deal. And the girls are trying to calm her down, basically say, like, you don't know that it was, you know, you don't know that it was malicious, and it very well could have just been like, you know, she had to pick someone and she picked you, and it was meant to be lighthearted, like it wasn't malicious. So the girls are trying to calm her down, and she's like, okay, yeah, girls, you're right. And she kind of, you know, is open to squashing the beef, but in her head, Zara's not. Eventually, Zara and Olivia do come together. Zara denies, you know, being calculated or malicious picking Olivia. And they agree to squash the beef, but it's very much giving frenemies. Olivia doesn't like Zara, and I feel like Zara doesn't like Olivia. I feel like maybe she was a bit indifferent with her before this, you know, overreaction, but now she kind of senses that Olivia doesn't like her. She probably doesn't like her now either. Then all of a sudden, Shaq and Harris start arguing, and it looks like they're going to have a fight. I guess Shaq is pressed that Tanya has, you know, is kissing all of these people and hasn't really kissed him as much as he's kissed all of these other people. And I guess Harris was kind of like bringing it up, and he was calling him a shit stirrer and basically telling him to shut the fuck up. You know that ones where all because of one word, like you're so heated because of one word, like shut the fuck up. And then Harris, he doesn't like being spoken to in that manner, and he's just very offended, very pressed. He starts standing up like, who you talking to like that? Like, you're not gonna talk to me like that. And like Shaq's like, yeah, I am. What you gonna do about it? And what? And what? And I was like, fine. But obviously it gets broken up, and then literally directly after, they kind of come together to squash the beef temporarily, because that explains the situation. And Harris is basically just saying like, obviously I shouldn't have said what I said or whatever at that time. It probably wasn't the best time. But I would have appreciated if you kind of like addressed me in a different way. Like, you didn't have to come like with aggression right off the bat. You could have just said like, not now, like now's not the place. And you know, calling me a shit stirrer, that's a big thing to call someone. Why are you being so dramatic? Like, being called a shit stirrer is a big thing to call someone. And honestly, I had not seen the shit stirring. I'm guessing that this is off camera. And Harris definitely gives shit stirrer vibes. I can definitely believe that he was shit stirring, and that Shaq definitely just had enough of him, and you know, just blew his top, and there was tensions anyway. So, you know, I guess he was expecting for Shaq to be like, oh sorry, you know, I shouldn't have called you a shit stirrer. But Shaq was basically like, no, I said what I said. I said what I said. You're very immature. I'm just trying to tell you that, you know, there's a time and place for everything. And then now Harris is getting offended that Shaq is calling him immature. And now he's like, why are you calling me immature? I'm not immature. Like, how you know, basically like, how dare you call me immature? And Shaq is basically just like, you know what I said, you are immature. And then Harris is basically like, what do you mean I'm immature? No one would say that I'm immature. Like, ask everyone if I'm immature. And he's like, go on then, go and ask everyone, and they will tell you that you're immature. And he was just dumbfounded. Like, you could tell like he's probably like never like gotten it back at this point. Like, nobody's really checked him like that. So he's just like doesn't really know what to do. And then he basically just kind of storms off and is like, you know, I'm not having this conversation anymore, like a big baby. But yeah, you know, as much as Shaq is trash, I was here for him putting Harris in his place and checking him. Like, he had, you know, his foot on his neck. Like, he did not let Harris breathe. Like, he was, you know, fighting for his dear life in that conversation. Shaq got him together real quickly and did not waver. And for that, I can respect. In the aftermath of the challenge, we also see Tom and Olivia having a challenge. It seems like after their coupling, there's been slow progression. Tom is basically saying like, she hasn't really been giving him much effort after the coupling. And that's basically low-key why he's been entertaining Zara, and he apologizes if he made her feel a type of way that, you know, he kissed Zara instead of her in the challenge. And obviously Olivia is expressing disappointment. Tom is comforting her, giving her reassurance, and, you know, cuddling up with her. But I kind of felt like he just kind of felt like he's apologized and, you know, did all this comforting because he felt like he had to, not because he really wanted to. Then we see a massive red flag from Shaq. Basically, he starts confiding in the boys that he feels disrespected by Tanya. He feels the type of way that Tanya has not kissed him in the challenges, and she keeps choosing other men to kiss in the challenge, and insinuates that she is inviting other people to kiss her in challenges. Red flag. Sorry, what? Inviting other people to kiss her in challenges. It's not her fault that she's a bad bitch with soft lips. Excuse me? Homegirl is single. She barely knows you, and you barely know her. But you're here trying to police where her lips are going. Red flag. And then on top of that, he's basically saying that he kissed Lana on the chest to be respectful. But she's doing too much kissing people. What? You could have kissed any part of Lana's body. First off, you didn't even need to kiss Lana in the first place. Why didn't you kiss Tanya? Why didn't you lead by example, bitch? Why didn't you lead by example, first of all, and just choose Tanya? Because then you have more legs to stand on. Because the first thing was Kai kissed Tanya, not Tanya kissed Kai. Kai chose to kiss Tanya. After that, you now chose to kiss someone else. You chose to kiss Lana, and you said you were being respectful kissing her on her chest, but you could have picked any part of her body. You could have picked, you know, does she not have a forehead? Does she not have a hand? You could have kissed that as her best feature, but you wanted to kiss chest. And now you're surprised after now Tanya's seen you kissing some girl's chest, she's now entertaining other men. You're surprised. But she's disrespectful, but you were respectful. It is just so wow. It was not making any sense, and honestly, it was just giving like, this is beyond trash. This is scary. Like, this is like, it's very toxic, especially this early on in the relationship. You're inviting other men to kiss you after they picked you in a challenge to kiss. That is you very red flag behavior. Like, very controlling language going on here. I feel like he's genuinely confused that Tanya has this much attention, because the black girl edit is usually you get what you're given, and nobody tends to pick you for these kissing challenges. They're usually the ones, watching as a commentator, and nobody usually the black girls are not getting picked by other men to be kissed. So he's just dumbfounded now that she has all of this attention, and he just can't handle it, because what the fuck, like, this is not your girlfriend. Second of all, if other people want to kiss her, that's their business, not hers. What do you expect her to do? Be palming people off for someone who's not even her boyfriend, who's coughing every time she says that she wants a boyfriend, she wants a man. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. And it's just rubbing me the wrong way, because it seems like now he wants an apology from Tanya when she's done nothing wrong. And for me, it's ringing alarm bells. It's giving abuser. Obviously, he's just made up this whole conspiracy in his head. And thankfully, the boys are not backing his delusion. The boys are actually trying to talk him down to earth. Everyone is saying that he's being basically delusional. He's overthinking things. And, he's making a big thing, he's making something out of nothing. And that Tanya, is clearly interested in him, and that these kisses didn't mean anything. So, big up to the boys. And I would have thought the conversation with the boys would have done it. But no, he still decides to confront Tanya and basically bring this rubbish to Tanya. And Tanya ends up apologizing. And when she apologized, just my heart sank, because I was just like, bitch, you should have told him, get the fuck over it. I would have told him, get the fuck out of my face with this rubbish. Like, are you for real right now? Get the fuck out of my face. And nowhere in this conversation does he acknowledge the foolishness that he was doing with Lana. But you want me to apologize because people want to kiss me, and I kiss somebody else after you were kissing up somebody's chest. I feel like Tanya is just a bit too submissive, too much of a people pleaser. She should not have apologized at all, and she had nothing to apologize for. And for me, I can't support her relationship with Shaq, because for me, it's giving very much a red flag. Also, that wasn't the only drama that the game caused. It just keeps coming with the drama. We also had another drama after the game as well with David. Basically, in that whole conversation where the boys were trying to talk Shaq down for being a delusional weirdo, Will letting slip there that basically, trying to back Tanya and saying, Tanya really likes you. Like, she came back from her date with David and she was like, David who? Words to that effect. And obviously now David is there sitting with the boys, hearing that Tanya has allegedly said that he's got no chance. So now he's pressed, and he walks up and he's like, oh, this is awkward. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be here. Like, it's just awkward for me. So he now walks off. Tom, and the rest of the boys are kind of just looking around like, oh, that was a bit harsh. That was a bit savage, Will. And Will is basically like, so how do you think I feel? Like, I've been here for 5 days struggling. Like, I was like, Will, really? And that's when I was like, Will is not this wholesome, nice guy. He definitely has a mean side to him, because that was all very unnecessary. Like, he could have definitely gone to David and comforted him, because it wasn't very nice to hear. And also, it was a lie. Tanya did not say any such thing. She said that she liked David, but she still liked Shaq. That's what she said. But for him to be like, yeah, bitch, I don't care. That was funny, but it was also a bit of a red flag from Will, Not so much of the nice guy we all thought he was. But anyway, obviously David goes off. Tom goes over to sit with him and comforts him. I feel like that was really nice from Tom. And then eventually he has a talk with Tanya. Tanya basically denies saying, bye, David. And, says that she's still interested in him. Obviously she likes Shaq, but she's still very open to getting to know David. And then making a decision. But I feel like David knows it's kind of over. And Tanya in her head knew that she was going to pick Shaq. But, you know, she was here to entertain. She was here for the attention. Then we see Ron and Zara have a chat. And Ron friend-zoned Zara. Obviously, we saw in a conversation before with Tanya that he's basically saying that he's lost interest in Zara. So he's basically locked things off with Zara now. Zara seems very blindsided. I felt like, you know, Ron was her first pick. And she's basically like, you know, you should have told me this before. Like, she kind of feels like, you know, he strung her along. And I feel like he liked the excitement. He saw Lana entertaining other people, so he kind of felt like, you know, to restore his ego, he needed to do the same. But, you know, he says he hasn't got a type, but he clearly does. And Lana is his type. So I feel like that's why he was, you know, he wanted to, you know, friend zone Zara and lock in with Lana. Because he is a looks first guy, regardless of what he says. And then he talks to Lana and basically says that, you know, he wants to, you know, lock in with her and see how it goes. Like, he doesn't really want to entertain other people right now. And Lana says the same. So it kind of seems like they're now re-solidifying themselves as a day one couple. We also see Anna Mae and Kai having a conversation after the dramatics that Tanya did at the drinking game. And Kai roundabout says that he's gone off Tanya. You know, after what she did at the drinking game, he's just kind of like turned off her. Like, she's not someone that he wants to be with. He prefers, you know, calm and peaceful relationships, which he kind of gets more from Anna Mae. And you know what? You know, I can't fault him on that. For me, I'm the same. I watch these trash reality TV shows for drama. In a relationship, I do not want drama. I do not find drama in relationships entertaining. I want peace and quiet and enjoyment. Like, all of this relationship stress, nah. I just feel like you need to get a new hobby if you're that bored that you like and make drama in your relationship. I feel like Tanya really embarrassed herself. So I'm not surprised that, you know, Ty has now, you know, been turned off by her. And then now to, you know, put the icing on the cake, Ron has now locked in with Lana. So Tanya really is just out here, like, you know, she's fucked it with Kai. Ron is now locked in with Lana. She's now in no man's land, basically. So I'm just kind of thinking either she could be in danger or she's just going to start moving madder. And I personally was here for the latter. So the text comes through for the recoupling and elimination, and the boys in limbo are sweating. My predictions for the recoupling were, I personally felt like the established couples that were guaranteed to get together were Lana and Ron and Tanya and Shaq. In terms of Zara, I felt like her first pick would probably be Tom. But if Olivia snatched Tom first, she would either get with Will, because Will put in an effort friendship-wise, or David, her fellow newbie. In terms of Olivia, I felt like her first pick would be Tom. But if Zara snatched Tom before, she would pick Harris and possibly Will if Harris wasn't available. In terms of Tanya, I could sense a curveball coming. Obviously, her first pick would be Kai, but I had a feeling that they were going to let Anna pick first, and then Anna would pick Kai. So I was thinking she might throw a curveball and pick Ron. But I thought potentially she could pick Will for a friendship couple as well, because Will is friends with everyone. And then in terms of Anna Mae, I felt like her first pick was going to be Kai, but her substitutes would probably be Harris, because that's who she was coupled up with before, or Will. And at risk, I thought it was going to be between David, Harris and Will, but I thought most likely the person going home would probably be David. You know, his screen time has not been great. Him himself as an islander, not been great, not been really entertaining. So I felt like, you know, easy pickings, he's probably going to go. So the results of the recoupling were as follows. Anna Mae goes first. We know that she's picking Kai. She picks Kai. Zara goes first, so we know that she's going to pick Tom. She picks Tom. Olivia's up next, and I kind of knew that she was going to go with Harris because, you know, Harris is, you know, the substitute on the bench. Then we have Tanya. We all know she was going to pick Shaq. And at that point, David knew he was a goner. He just looked down, like, defeated. He knew he was a goner. It was actually really sad. But yeah. You could just see his life flash before his eyes. He was like, I'm gone. Like, that was his only chance, you know? Really and truly. That was his only chance. He's now been left standing there until they tell him to pack his bags. You could just tell he was like, Lord Jesus, is this how you've done me? You got me on this show. I'm finally here and you're going to send me home You're gonna hurt me? You're gonna send me home first? Oh, this one is wicked. Oh, the universe is wicked. So then we have Tanya. I could sense the curveball coming. And it was David doing the prayer hands for me. When Tanya stood up, he's going like bitch. Them hands is gonna be packing, so don't even bother wasting them on a prayer handy. Oh, I feel bad for David, but it was funny. So yeah, Tanya, she came through with the curveball, she came through with the drama, she came through with the chaos, and she picks Ron. And everybody's like, shit. Whoo! Like, girl, you shaking the table, like you shaking the fire pit, hun. And you know, she's kind of smiling in her head. I don't know if it's a smiling because she's done something devious, smiling because she's uncomfortable. But she's, low-key smiling. Lana's sitting there crying, like distraught, like, bitch, you motherfucking bitch. You fucking bitch. Because you knew I was gonna pick Ron. You know we're together. You know we're an item. How fucking dare you, bitch? After you've been kikiing and smiling in my face, and this is how you do me, bitch. And then Tanya was like, sorry. And it's just like, bitch, don't say sorry because you know you don't fucking mean it. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Because you're low-key laughing. Like, bitch, just stand in your villainy. Like, don't be saying sorry. You know you've been plotting. And I'm pretty sure this was not a last-minute decision. I'm pretty sure this was after that kiss with Ron at the party and it was not well received. I basically just to decide. I feel like that's when she started plotting to put Operation Still Ron in place. So obviously that leaves Lana. It's between David and Will. We know that she's picking Will. Will's grafting plays off. Obviously Will gets picked. He's trying to comfort David. He's just standing there. He's like, very standoffish. Like you could just tell he's just consumed with embarrassment. Like he was probably telling all his boys like, yeah, I'm in Love Island. Obviously he wasn't an OG, but then the producers called him up and said, you're going to be one of the first bombshells, and he's coming there and it's literally a revolving door. And then when he gets home, he's going to see he's had no screen time. He's not even allowed to be posting on social media. He's really been fucked. Like, he's probably quit his job and everything. No, babe. No. I would be begging the producers, put me on Casa Amor, please. Please. Oh, like you could just tell he was stressed because that is embarrassing being out first. Oh, someone has to be it though. And unfortunately, it was David. So yeah, David goes, Zara's crying. Obviously, her fellow newbie is out. What did it for me is Shaq helping him pack, like him picking up his suitcase for me. He couldn't wait to be rid of David, boy. David was causing Shaq too much stress. And then David in the room just like biting his fingernails, like you could just tell like he's not ready to go back to the real world. He wasn't ready to go back to the real world that quick. Yeah, poor David. Then we see the preview of the start of next week. We have 2 new bombshells coming in, but they're from Love Island, Australia. There's Aaron from season 3. I watched that season, and someone from a season that I didn't watch. Aaron, personally, I think he's going to be a good character. I really like that he has black hair instead of that bleach blonde that he had in Australia. He's a very strong personality, and I feel like he's definitely going to cause some drama. And I'm here for the Australians because you know what? The Australians know how to put on a show, and I would be here for an international Love Island. So maybe they're testing this out. There's going to be so many spin-offs. It seems like there's, spin-offs happening. So I would be here for an all-star. I'd be here for an international Love Island. I think it'd be really cool. Or them bringing people in from different countries. I'm personally here for it. Some people say like they shouldn't be bringing people back from past seasons. But I'm personally here for it. But I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Do you think they should be bringing people from different countries from last seasons on? Do you think it's fair? I'm personally here for it, but I'd be interested to hear from you guys. So yeah, that is my review of Winter Love Island 2023 episodes 1 to 5. So yeah, it started off slow in the beginning, but it's picking up now and I'm really enjoying it. It's a really nice piece of trash TV. I'm interested to see what happens next. In terms of who my favourite couple is, I don't have a favourite couple. I personally just want Tanya to find somebody else. I think if Shaq wasn't so toxic, it would be Tanya and Shaq. but I just can't support their coupling. I think my favourite Islander right now would probably be Ron. And for drama, Tanya and Olivia, they're bringing drama. And you know what? I like Lana as well. I thought she was going to be boring, but she's been bringing drama, you know? I've got to give it to her. And Tanya as well. You know what? Tanya's been causing a little bit of chaos. Like, she's so cute and innocent. And I still feel like she's cute and innocent, but it seems like she's causing drama as well. So, you know what? I kind of like this cast. I feel like they complement each other well. But yeah, do let me know what you thought about this batch of episodes. Let me know what you think about the individual contestants. Let me know what you think about the new host. As always, let me know what you think about my commentary. I'll be dropping my review for next week's batch of episodes next week, either on Saturday or Sunday. But keep my notifications on so you know when they drop. If you want me to review any other similar shows, you can send me a request on Patreon. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to my notification button so you know my next video is dropping. I'm also trying to get to 4.6k subscribers. That's my next short-term goal, and I'd appreciate if you help me hit that. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel so far, and thank you to everybody who's taken the extra step to sign up to my Patreon. It really means a lot to me. Till next time, guys. Bye.